Hi, I'm Vibrine Summers and welcome back to another episode of Soul Stirring Astrology, where I'm sharing my Sun Sign series, and today it's the Sun in Taurus. And a key phrase associated with Taurus is I have, and key words are about possession, practicality and determination. So Taurus is an earth sign, so it's a sense that you are very grounded in what you do and the way that you approach life. So it's very slow and methodical, you don't like to rock the boat, you stay within the status quo, and there's a sense that you really are in the pursuit of acquiring material things that make you feel safe and secure. And it's also about emotional security. Now, there's a sense of a poverty consciousness which may have been carried forward from past lives. You may have lived in poverty in past lives, and that's why in this particular lifetime there may be this desire, very strong pull to acquiring physical, tangible things that make you have a sense of achievement but also bring comfort. It's also about protecting what you have, so as much as it is about creation, it's about protecting what you have, and that could be in the physical things that you've manifested, it could be your family, it could be your ideas, so there's this great sense of protection. But if we step back in time in terms of the history of Taurus, so we've come through the age of Aries, which is about the hero's journey. And when we enter into the age of Taurus, here it's about really looking at the feminine and the lunar energies, which may surprise a lot of you because Taurus is associated with being the bull, the one who stamps his feet, and it's a very masculine image. But actually, if we go back in time, there were paintings that were found in caves, and the paintings were of cows, and the horns reminded people of the moon's crescent. And so here she was really the symbol of giving birth, giving life. You know, it's said that the milk from the cow's mother was splashed across the sky with stars which created the Milky Way. She also created everything around her and us on Earth, and she gave birth to the sun. So with Taurians, or whether you're Taurian rising or Taurian sun sign, there's a sense of creating the physical things. You like to touch and to be touched. You like to receive things. There's a sense of the receptivity of Taurus because it's an earth sign. So it's very fertile. So it's a time, and it's a sense of who you are. You like to plant the seeds of your creativity and you're seeking for them to flourish. So this image of Taurus and being very feminine contradicts the very contemporary view of the masculine side. And so if we think about temples that are in South India, for example, so like the Tanjore temple, there's a statue of the Nandi bull, and the Nandi bull was a representation of male divinity. But if we move into ancient Egyptian mythology, well, the cow was a representation of goddesses, and so we had the goddesses like Isis and Neith and Ishtar. So these goddesses were the representation of the feminine side. And so if we look, for example, at the goddess Neith, now she was known as the goddess of war, so that's about protecting all around her, but she was also the goddess of creativity because she had a loom, and with this loom she was able to weave and create and produce things. So what you're seeking to do is with your sun sign and with the sun in Taurus is, as much as there is this physical acquisition, there are many of you that actually renounce it because you're seeking this divine, this sacred way of living. So you're oscillating between the sense of going out and acquiring all these physical things together with rejecting them. So you're oscillating between acquiring and rejecting, acquiring and rejecting. Now with Taurus, there's a sense of inertia. So the lunar energies, it's about the sensitivity and being passive and being in a state of inertia, wanting things to come to you. And what can happen with this is that you may have actually set your life up whereby you're serving other people's ideas and agendas, which, you know, that may have suited you in the first half of your life. But as you hit middle age, or you just hit a level of consciousness where you're thinking, there's a sense of you're feeling dissatisfied, and your dissatisfaction comes from the fact that you've poured all of this energy into either acquiring these physical things or serving somebody else's agenda, but you haven't actually been serving your latent talents that are waiting for you to give birth to. So the dissatisfaction comes to the surface, and you're questioning, is it a case of if only, I wonder what would have happened, or it's a case of coulda, woulda, shoulda, gonna do X, Y, and Z. So this level of dissatisfaction needs to be dealt with. Now, with Taurus and the earth sign, it's very practical, so therefore you need to be looking to Scorpio, because Scorpio brings you inward. There's a sense of the introspection and being introverted. And with Scorpio, it's about plunging into what those feelings actually mean. By serving other people, are you then sacrificing your psychic abilities, your creative abilities, your spiritual latent talents to serve other people? And what does that really mean to you? What does that mean for your life? Or are you suppressing your sexual needs and desires? Because we're dealing with Scorpio and Pluto, and that's about sexual needs, desires, and have you sacrificed them in pursuit of some other goal that takes you away from yourself? You could be questioning, what have I given up in my life, and what do I have to show in return? Now, tapping into the Scorpio element will help you to reconnect with what do those questions actually mean for you at this phase of your life. How are you now going to turn the corner and think about what is it that you truly desire instead of running away from those feelings? Is it a case that you've always pushed that desire into your work, or have you decided on living a life forever in terms of being celibate, or have you become a monk or a nun? It's about you're cutting off, you're disassociating your natural desires. And as you heighten your consciousness around your sun core energy, there's a realization that you need these both sides of yourself to be able to feel far more integrated. So that's it with regards to the sun in Taurus. You're seeking the unification of the sense of, okay, I have these material possessions, but is that enough? And what else do I seek in order for me to feel far more harmonious and balanced? Because when you think about it, Taurus is ruled by both Venus as well as the moon, because the moon is exalted in Taurus. So the feminine emotions that are around you cannot be denied. And so you're looking at, well, how do you bring these to the surface? Now, one of the weaknesses within you as somebody who has the sun in Taurus or Taurus rising is that you're always seeking the approval of other people. And the journey now is for you to move within, for you to become your own cheerleader. Now, it's about honouring those latent gifts. If, for example, you grew up in an environment where your gifts were recognised and you were loved and cherished, well, that's fantastic. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to access those feelings. If, on the other hand, you've had difficulties around nurturing or lack of support, then what it's requiring for you is to do the deep inner transformative work that enables you to access the lunar qualities, the feminine qualities, the psychic abilities, the creative talents, to bring those to the surface. And here, basically, you have to become your own cheerleader. And once you're able to do this, then you're able to transform these latent talents, because you're connecting with them, you're owning them, you identify that these are your inner riches, your inner resources, then you're in the position to transform them. So that's it. And the question of the day is, what taurean trait or talent are you now going to develop? Put your answer in the comment box below. I always love to connect with you. Feel free to share this video and this episode with other people in your network. You can like and subscribe to my channel. You can also add this episode to your playlist, and I will see you again on the next episode, where I deal with the sun in Gemini.